Europe just got hit with an energy shock that it didn't start, didn't want, and didn't vote for. The world's largest liquefied natural gas plant went offline after Iranian drones struck Qatar's Laffan industrial complex. European gas prices jumped nearly 50% in a single session. Goldman Sachs published a note saying prices could surge 130% if the Strait of Hormuz stays disrupted for just 1 month. And the US military, the country that launched the strikes that triggered all of this, is now offering to escort tankers through a waterway its own war closed. I'm Elle of House of Elle on YouTube. I have a PhD in computer science and I use data analysis to spot patterns in geopolitics and economics. What I want to show you today is why this moment, as painful as it looks right now, contains the seeds of something Europe has been failing to build for 30 years and why the United States, not Europe, is the one with nowhere to go from here. Stay with me because the data makes this very clear. Let's start with what actually happened because the sequencing matters here. On February 28th, the US and Israel struck Iran. Within 72 hours, Iranian drones hit Qatar's Ras Laffan facility. That's the world's largest LNG export terminal, covering roughly a fifth of global LNG supply. Qatar Energy halted all production. European benchmark gas futures surged by the largest margin since the 2022 Ukraine energy crisis. The Saudi Aramco refinery at Ras Tanura, which has 550,000 barrels per day of capacity, was also struck and shut as precaution. JP Morgan gave the global oil system a 25-day countdown. If the strait stays effectively closed that long, producers run out of storage and start cutting output. Supply falls while global demand stays constant. Prices, of course, explode as a result. A war that started over Iran's nuclear program is now sitting directly in European energy bills. If you want to understand how this feeds into the broader economic pressure already building in America, the inflation spiral, the market sell-off, the stagflation signals, that video on how the US is entering its worst economic crisis since the 1970s is linked on your screen right now. The short-term picture is genuinely painful, and I'm not going to minimize it. Let's cover it for a second before we go to the next part. EU gas storage entered this crisis at around 30% capacity, below last year's level. Germany was sitting at just 21.6% in late February. France is in the low 20s. There is no comfortable buffer. Higher bills are coming for households and industrial users alike. That part is real. But here's where the pattern recognition becomes important, and this is the part most coverage is completely missing, I think. We've seen this exact shock before in 2022 when Russia cut gas supplies following the Ukraine war. Every analyst said European industry was finished, German factories would close apparently, deindustrialization was inevitable. But what actually happened was Europe reduced its dependence on Russian pipeline gas faster than any model predicted, built out LNG import infrastructure at record speed, and accelerated renewables deployment across the whole continent. The pain was real. The collapse that was predicted didn't actually happen, however. History has a template here and it matters. This is round 2 of the same forcing function, and this time Europe has already done the first lap. The LNG import terminals that didn't exist in 2021 are now operating. The interconnectors between European grids are stronger. The political consensus on energy security, which took decades to build, is now ironclad. That's not nothing. That is a massive, massive head start. If you want to build the kind of thinking that reads these patterns before they become headlines, my book, Awake the Practice of Critical Thinking in an Age of Self-Lies, is in the description. It's available as ebook and audiobook. Subscribers get 10% off and you can get the first chapter for free. Now, let's look at the financial mechanism because this is where the opportunity becomes visible. Goldman Sachs said a 1-month Hormuz halt would push European gas prices around 130% higher to $25 per million BTU. A 2-month disruption could push them above 100 euros per megawatt hour, which is essentially the level that triggers industrial demand destruction. That sounds catastrophic, but if we just zoom out and look at what it actually forces, every European government, every energy regulator, every industrial board is now running accelerated scenarios for energy independence, the holy grail. Capital that was sitting in planning committees is about to move very decisively. The 2022 shock produced the fastest renewable energy build-out in EU history. Wind and solar capacity additions hit records in 2023 and 2024. This shock is arguably larger. The policy response will hopefully be proportionally larger as well. When energy prices double, the economics of domestic renewables, heat pumps, and grid investments don't just improve marginally, they become unambiguous. Every project that was borderline viable at $11 per MMBTU becomes obviously necessary at $25. There is a detail in the Goldman note as well that most people scroll right past. US LNG export terminals were already running at 94% utilization before this crisis. There is almost no spare capacity to surge supply to Europe. The US cannot ride to Europe's rescue with cheap gas. The infrastructure ceiling is already hit, so Europe's only durable solution is the one it already knew it needed: domestic generation. This crisis just removed the last political obstacle to funding it at urgent scale. Meanwhile, look at what is happening to the United States. American LNG exporters are posting gains, Cheniere up 6%, Venture Global up more than 14%, because they'll sell whatever marginal supply exists at much higher prices. Big oil wins narrowly in the short term, but the broader US economy is absorbing an energy price shock that feeds directly into inflation, which the Fed cannot cut rates to offset without letting prices spiral, which leaves growth fully exposed. $1 trillion was already wiped from US markets in the days after the strikes began. If you want to see exactly how that unfolded and what it signals about where American markets go next, the video on your screen right now is linked. The US started a war that closed the world's most critical energy corridor, alienated its European allies. France wasn't even consulted before the strikes. Spain refused base access. The UK limited its support and is now presiding over an oil price shock that hits American consumers at the pump while benefiting only a narrow slice of the energy sector. That is not a winning strategic position. The millions of people already drawing their own conclusions about America's direction are choosing to leave. I'm going to link that video on the screen as well because it's part of the same pattern. Watch it next. What's going to happen next? Here's my prediction, and it follows directly from the data. In the next 12 to 18 months, I would watch for three things. First, accelerated EU energy infrastructure spending. The political will to fund it at scale just arrived, painfully but conclusively. Second, a wave of EU renewable supply partnerships will probably come as well, as solar and battery storage become the fastest route to price stability for European industry. Third, a widening divergence between European and US economic trajectories. As Europe restructures towards independence while the US runs deficits, manages inflation it can't really control, and absorbs the geopolitical cost of a war with no clear exit strategy. The countries that emerge strongest from energy crisis are never the ones with the most comfortable starting position. They are the ones that use the shock to restructure fastest. Europe has done it before. The data says that it's going to do it again. My analysis on how $1 trillion was wiped from US market in a single day as this war unfolded is linked right there on your screen right now. Watch it alongside this one because the two stories are the same story told from opposite ends and they build a full picture. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.